suppose I inherited in an engineering world quite a traditional team. So we were selling a technical product. So a lot of them had good technical and application knowledge, but I'd say not enough commercial acumen and commercial awareness. And so again, traditionally they were looking after a territory that had multi-million pound customers and customers that were only spending a few £100 with us across many industries. And so what we wanted to do was to bring in two elements. One was key account management, world-class key account management, and the second was business development. So although the team were meant to be developing new business, we found that they had a big safety net of the territory, of the customers, and there wasn't a lot of focus on business development. So I think that's ultimately where we left it. We had fewer world-class key account managers that were growing the key accounts, not only on a UK and Ireland basis, but also on a global basis. They started interacting with other key account managers around the world. And then secondly, we realigned some of the resource. So we didn't spend any more money. We just realigned the resource to create a number of business development managers that were more industry focused and industry specialists that understood the pain point of the customers and could actually create a really good value proposition on the back of those industry challenges and pain point for customers. I think the main value was just getting to know us as a management team at James Walker, getting to know our business and understanding exactly what we were looking for in terms of key account management and business development managers. We created two teams. We had two sales managers at that point, two very different characters. And I think understanding what we were looking for and making sure we got a good cultural fit with those two very different managers ended up working really well for us. Class it as a 9, always room for improvement. But always. Yes, I think the cultural fit was really important. OLG was interesting because it solely measured the sales competencies. So understanding those competencies of the existing sales team versus what we wanted was a start point. And it worked okay in UK and Ireland and probably mainland Europe. But I think as we expanded out into the US and certainly Asia Pac, it was not a good cultural fit. And I think when we brought MHIQ in, I think firstly it was a more rounded assessment of the sales teams and the individuals that took in personality as well as competencies. And secondly, it just adapted for that cultural piece as well. So it was it ended up working really well for us. I think that's another, that whole process evolved over time. We wanted to measure sales competencies. It evolved into MHIQ that took in many different areas of a person's makeup and character, and it just got better and better. So it was a good start point. I think the important thing is looking at the tools out there to assess your sales team if you're about to embark on a sales restructure is really important, and making sure you get the right tools. Oh yeah, I definitely recommend you. I've been through the process myself, and I suppose the reason why is that you understand, or you get to understand, the company's objectives, whether it's a restructure, whether it's growth, whether it's business development, whether it's sales leadership. You get to understand what the business is looking for, but more importantly, you get to understand the culture of the business and make sure you bring in the right candidates at the right time that not only fit the job brief, but also fit the company culture.
The way that you guys went about hiring in comparison to other big blue chips that we work with, you went about it in a really, really modern, forward-thinking way, and it enabled you to get that team to one of the highest performing teams in the James Walker group of companies. And it didn't just happen due to good leadership, good planning, good training, good processes, and hiring the right people. You know.
Yeah, many aspects to it.
Yeah.
You're right, but getting the right people in at the front end is vital. And I think most people would say it's a 50-50 on recruitment, and I think your process took us up to probably 85-15. And then the other important aspect, if somebody did slip through the net that ended up not being the right fit, within weeks you need to make the decision and say, I've made a mistake, early on. And the other nice thing about your setup is that then you get if they slip through the net, then you get a free hit because we followed your process. So
exactly, that
was the other part to it. So
that's a key thing. It's something that with us 40%, probably 40% of our revenue is probably more US, I'd say, Dave, now, isn't it? Focus, because the way the economy landscape is, and the hire and fire culture that they tend to adopt sometimes is a little bit different, a little bit alien probably to us in the UK. But the methodology that we're deploying over there with the protection, it's been a really important part of our scaling journey, getting over into the US, and they want that protection. They're spending a lot of money on hiring, and they want that extra protection. So it's really sort of taken off. But as I said, without partnering with companies like James Walker and use people like yourself who know what they're doing, we wouldn't be able to showcase it to other companies with strong recommendations.